On this bill, there are two camps in this body. There are members who want to stop using coal for energy production as soon as possible and switch to other alternative energy forms. And then there's the group that recognizes that coal supplies half of our nation's electricity, and that whether we like it or not, will continue to do so for a fairly long time, so we need to manage as best we can the residuals left over after that coal is burned. It's amazing what clever uses that we have found for coal ash that our power plants produce. Yes, it's used to strengthen concrete. In fact, the road builders report that road and bridge building costs will increase by $100 billion over the next 20 years if we stop using coal ash in concrete. In fact, the standard, believe it or not, for the California Highway Authority, is concrete strengthened with coal ash. The best wallboard, roofing shingles, even bowling balls contain coal ash. But not all coal ash is beneficially used. That's why we need to make sure that what is disposed of will be managed responsibly. Today, states have a variety of standards for managing disposal of coal ash. The gentlelady from Wisconsin, Ms. Baldwin, on our committee told us that her state finds uses for all of its coal ash. Other states have to deal with disposing of half or more of their coal ash. Mr. McKinley, the sponsor of this legislation, when he first joined our committee, he explained to us how the administration's proposals to regulate coal combustible residuals as though they are hazardous were threatening the recycling industry. He asked us to support the bill to simply set those proposals aside. We held a hearing on the bill, and we heard from a variety of witnesses from recyclers, from power plant operators, environmental groups, and others. But among the most important witnesses was a lady who spoke for the officials in every one of our 50 states who run the state solid waste management programs. She had a better idea, explaining that states govern solid waste under stringent federal guidelines. She asked, why not do the same with coal ash? We states, she said, all run our solid waste programs just fine and are careful to meet the federal standards for two reasons. First, we want to protect human health and the environment. And second, we don't want the EPA running our programs for us. So we rolled up our sleeves and drafted such a program, bipartisan, by the way. We started, regular order.
House will be in order.
We started with the federal municipal solid waste rules themselves, and we saw that most of those would apply very well to coal ash. Even the EPA said municipal solid waste laws is a good model for safe management of coal ash. After all, these laws protect us from everyday household trash that includes battery acid, mercury, paints, electronic parts, and who knows what. But then we looked again and saw that there are different issues with coal ash, so we added visions to take those differences into account and make this bill even more protective. The result was the bill before us today that is endorsed by one of the broadest, most interesting coalitions that we've seen, the Environmental Council of the states. The 50 heads of the state environmental departments from Maine to California strongly endorsed the bill. So do the recyclers. But every member, I'll bet, has heard from at least one of them. So do the power plant operators, the coal producers, the manufacturers, the cement industry, the private sector labor unions, and yes, certainly the folks who pay their electricity bill. So who's left out? Well, the opponents have really just one thing in common. They regret that coal is a big energy source, and they think that the sooner we can get off it, the better. They understand that to get there, you got to stop the recycling first and then start regulating it, even though it's hazardous. Even as though it's hazardous. It's not. Even Carol Browner said it's not. She said that in 1993, and she said that again in 2000. This bill is a new approach. It's Congress setting the standards and the states making sure that they are met as the states know best how to do. I ask you to vote no on the motion to recommit and vote yes on final. I yield back my time.
Gentleman yields back.